Pending doom continues in the Southern California housing market. We're here with another housing market update for Southern California, and we cannot believe how low the pending sales numbers are. This is a direct reflection of just how low demand is right now. Plus, we're going to take a look at inventory levels to see if inventory is going up, which could ultimately lead to price reductions. Hey there, Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates. We've been helping buyers and sellers with the best data-driven decisions in Southern California. And the last time we talked about pending doom was back in July, and things are not any better. In fact, they're at record lows. So we are going to share just how many properties went under contract, how many properties went into escrow. So if you're ready to take a look at the pending sales and inventory numbers for LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, and Ventura counties, hit that like button and let's get started. Let's dive into the numbers. We originally reported on pending doom back in July when we saw things were slowing down as interest rates went up. We saw fewer properties going under contract. And lo and behold, we're at new lows for pending doom, and we're going to share with you. We're going to start with Orange County, and this is one of the worst looking counties for pending sales. So the very first important thing to look at is the screen, if you can imagine, looks a little bit like a saw. And you can see there's dips, and then you can see peaks. So those dips you will find are consistently in December. And of course that makes sense. Fewest number of people are out there writing offers in December because they're busy celebrating the holidays. Now the peaks are typically late into spring where a bunch of people are writing offers. That's what we see here. And we can see lows in December, and then there we are in the spring, low in December every year. Let's not forget to look way back here. This is as far back as the data will go using the InfoSparks tool, and we can see that in January, which is the low time, for 2008, we were at 1,300 properties under contract. But looking to your right, and that's 2022, we're even lower. So let's take a look at some of the anomalies here. We see our dip here, that's December. And then April, we see a new dip. What happened in April of 2020? Well, March and April is when we had COVID hit and things shut down. So that shows up in the pending sales, but then they quickly rallied back. And you can see that summer we were in a crazy market, multiple offers. I'm sure you remember that. The December was actually not, it was low, it was the bottom, but it wasn't as low as it was in the past. So it was a crazy December, same thing into 2021. December 2021, we saw sales drop, and then it was going back up like it should in spring. But then it just absolutely plummeted. Well, that's at the exact same time, as we've shown in our other content, that interest rates went through the roof. Where are we at right now for pending sales? We're at 743. Remember, the other previous low we have here is 1,300. Here we are at 743. And this is not the final number. It'll continue to adjust in the next couple weeks as the numbers are adjusted and agents, for example, mark a property went pending a week or two into November, which can happen. That'll suddenly change the October numbers. So this will go up, but it will not go up enough to not be the record low. Now, here's what's frightening. October is not supposed to be the record low. So like I said in another video, the fourth quarter, all bets are off. We have no idea what this fourth quarter is going to look like. Well, this is not a good sign for fourth quarter. When we are at record lows in October, we're supposed to be at record lows in December. So that's why you need to subscribe and stay tuned to this channel so you can see what happens in November and then December. And let's go ahead and bring in some of the other counties, bring those in quickly. Los Angeles and Riverside are also down at record lows, but not as steep of a drop in those counties as we had in Orange County. The summary is up here. Orange County had a 71% year-over-year drop. Now remember, last year was still an overheated year, so it's not a great comparison, but that's a huge drop. LA 66, Riverside about a 60% drop. in the number of properties going under contract. Now, what will this change? So if we see the pending sales are down, what does that mean in the months ahead for closed sales? Well, that means that the numbers will be down for closed sales. With record low pending sales, we're going to get record low closed sales coming up. And it also means that inventory can potentially tick up as demand stays this low, and we're going to cover that, don't worry. San Bernardino is down at record lows again, just like every other county. You can see we're under 1,000 for the month of October, and that is year over year a drop of 63%. Bringing in our buddies in Ventura, look at this major spike here. I don't know exactly what happened in September of 2016. I'm going to say it's an anomaly in the data, but look at that massive spike. But yes, record lows. Only 345 went under contract. Going back to January 2008, 467. So we're below that number, and they are down about 60% year over year. And San Diego, come on in. So you can see this here. There wasn't any data here. They expanded the coverage for this tool. So we can't get all the way back to 2008. We can see that we are at a low for San Diego. San Diego's down 47%. So San Diego's doing the best of the various counties for the month of October for pending sales. Does it make sense for you to buy or sell right now, whether you're in Southern California, somewhere else in California, or outside the state? Reach out below for a no pressure, no obligation, one-on-one consultation where we can figure out what makes sense for you. And now checking out the Altos research reports to see what is happening with inventory. If inventory starts to increase with this record low demand that we have, that's where we'll start to see a shift in pricing, and a big shift in pricing potentially if inventory shoots to the roof. So don't forget, you can subscribe and get these reports sent to you. You can enter any city or zip code at the top and subscribe so it comes to your email inbox once a week. So here we are starting at the national level, looking at inventory, and we can see that inventory is up. It's higher than 2021. And it's higher than 2020. It's still below where things were at 2019. But here's what's relevant to look at. So the slope down from 2019, typically this time of the year there should be less inventory. And we can see that similar slope. There's a slope down. Same thing in 2021, inventory goes down. That's not what we're seeing right now. We're still seeing things going up, and that's at the national level. Now, if this continues, this could lead to excess inventory. And with demand as low as it is, it's hard to believe we won't end up with excess inventory. The good news is, from a balance in the marketplace, I guess sellers would say it's the good news. Buyers may want prices to drop, but for sellers, inventory has stayed low because new listings have stayed low. And we've seen that in the data. Tune in Friday because we're going to share those numbers for Southern California, show the number of listings we had for the month of October. All right, zooming into the whole state of California, you can see that for inventory, it is a choppy road. Drop from 2019, as it typically does, dropped in 2020 this time of year, big drop in 2021. That huge increase we see in inventories while interest rates were going up, it did stabilize. The level of inventory did, but it's kind of ticking up at that peak. It's still below the peak, but it's also not a dramatic downslope. So that's what we're seeing at the California level. Let's see how it translates. Let's see if it's affecting all of the counties that we cover in SoCal. Moving on to Orange County, we can see inventory was peaking in the end of the summer, going down. That was a good sign that it was more of a normal market, but it has turned. So inventory has flattened out and continued to go up a little bit for Orange County. So this time of year, again, it's supposed to go down, but we're starting to see it at least flatline or tick up a little bit. Moving on to Los Angeles, see a big drop in 2019 and then another drop 2020. 2021, you can see get into the holidays, and inventory swooped up during interest rates. It dropped and it is snaking up again. Now it's not back to the peak, but it is going up in Los Angeles. And with this record low level of demand, you can't help but see it. Wow, Riverside inventory going up. It's actually above the summertime peak. So this is something we need to watch. It's trending and on its way to get back to the levels of 2019. Now, why that's relevant and interesting is compare the prices and interest rates that we had in 2019 to today. Big differences for both of those. San Bernardino inventory has leveled off. It was continuing on up to match 2019, but it leveled off. It does look like it's slightly ticked up, but this again should be dropping. Ventura, hey, Ventura is one where it dropped. It was quickly dropping late summer, and then it started to drop. You can see that inventory peaked in Ventura late summer and has been dropping, but it's not as quick of a drop as it was in years past. But this is a good sign that Ventura is staying a little more stable, potentially, than some of the other counties in Southern California. And San Diego, we saw the lowest year-over-year drop in pending sales, but we can see that inventory is not dropping off the way it should be, the way it has in years past. So let's continue to keep an eye on San Diego. It does seem to be the most solid from a sales standpoint right now. But as we know, things can quickly change. And of course, tune in for the Southern California Housing Market Update, where we're going to continue to cover the housing market through the crazy fourth quarter and on into the first quarter, where it will also get interesting. Don't forget to tune in this Friday for the rest of the housing market data. We'll have part 2 of this video. And of course, be sure you subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter so you don't miss a single update. We have a link below and above so you can do that. What are you seeing out there right now in the housing market? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear where you think things are headed. And here's another housing market update you're not going to want to miss. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we want to hear from you.